Good morning. Did you miss me? It's time for pre-market PulseScan with yours truly, Dex the Alco Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports that we place in your hands each and every trading day. All right, fam, what's good? I know you missed me. I missed you too, but I'm back. Here I am, live and direct. I tell you, man, these markets, sometimes they'll leave you scratching your head like, what in the world, right? Good thing we got the pulse waves looking out for us. What up to everybody in the live chat? What up, Ian, Mark, Nathan? Smash that like button. You know what it is. All right, so let's look at these overnight markets right quickie. All right, so we got the Dow right now off 160 points at 26,526. We got the NASDAQ 100 down 117, make that 118 and a half points at 10,712 and three quarters. We got the E-mini S&P 500 down 22 and a quarter points at 3209 quarter. We got the Russell My Hustle down 4.7 points at 1442 even. Bitcoin futures composite index is hanging in there, up 85, trading at 10,365. We got nat gas up 13 cents at $2.25, man. Crude oil unchanged. It's at $39.92 per barrel. We got gold. I'm sorry, let's go to the long bond first. Long bond's up 10.30 seconds at 176 and 25.30 seconds. Gold down $8.50 at 1859.90. Silver down a whopping 93 cents, trading at $22.17 an ounce. But what do we have here? The U.S. dollar trying to show strength. U.S. dollars doing push-ups this morning, up 8 pips at 94.47. So we're at the 94 handle now. We were flirting with the 92 and the 91. Now we're at the 94. Wow. What can happen in a day, I tell you. Taking a look now at the euro dollar, it's down 13 pips at 116.65. Pound sterling up 43 at 127.63. We got the Aussie down 49 at 70.29. We got the Canadian dollar up 23 at 134.06. Euro yen down 14 at 122.73. And dollar yen up 6 at 105.44. And finally, Kiwi is off 22 at 65.25. Soybeans down a whopping 9.5 points, trading at 10.05 even. Trying to maintain that $10 handle. Did slip below the $10 handle briefly and got as low as 9.99 and a quarter. Corn down 3.75 points at 364 and three quarters. We got wheat down 7, trading at 542 even. All right, so that's a little look at our overnight markets. But now let's peep that overnight news, because what's overnight markets without overnight news? There's always news to drive these markets. All right, so first and foremost, let me just pull it up here. All right, let's see here. Global stocks drop and the dollar rises after the Fed warns U.S. economic recovery will stall without further stimulus. So the American economy is going through withdrawal. Uh-oh. The sell-off in broader market indices led to a rise in the dollar. The U.S. is facing a dollar collapse by the end of 2021 and over a 50% chance of double-dip recession, economist Stephen Roach says. Historically, the U.S. has seen economic output rise briefly and fall back lower in 8 of the past 11 business cycle recoveries, he claims. Let me tell you, dollar collapse is something people like to throw around because it sounds sexy. It sounds, emergency, act now. for $99.99. If you go ahead and send me that, I'll send you out this special report letting you know what you can do when the US dollar runs wild on you. You know, that's what all the dollar maniacs say, okay? First of all, the US dollar ain't going nowhere, man. That's like saying, you guys, are y'all going to the funeral for the Phoenix? It'll be a waste of your time because the Phoenix is getting back up. It rises from the ashes. That's your US dollar. They'll just change the name and the mode, means, and method for said fiat currency. It's just getting a facelift. It's getting a tummy tuck. All right. You know what it's going to do? It's going to turn digital. That's all. It's not crashing. It's not collapsing. People like to use that word collapse, like I said, because it's sexy. It reminds you of Jessica Rabbit. But the markets are not Jessica Rabbit. The markets are people, all right, that are buying and selling for whatever which way reason. All right. It's not a human being, but it's made up of human beings. The ECB plans to set up an Amazon-style marketplace to sell billions in bad debt in a challenge to Wall Street, Reuters reports. Officials will discuss the scheme on Friday. They're always scheming and scamming. Only an idiot would buy bad debt. Bad debt only goes one direction, and that is down, along with your portfolio and your bank account. So don't ever, 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 never, ever buy bad debt. It's a good way to go bankrupt. See, they want to offload it to you. All right. There's the opening bell for those that need to handle some business. Move those stops or do what you got to do. All right, let's see what else we got here. Fourth quarter earnings coming in. Costco and Accenture are highlights on the day. The docket, we got the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's testimony, which will be a market-moving event. Speeches by both New York Fed President John Williams and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, and continuing jobless claims came out this morning, and they sucked. That's the only word I can think of to describe it. It sucked. Therefore, you could expect volatility today. All right. I'm sure the Fed probably is going to cheerlead the best he can. If he fails to cheerlead, then I'm sure Trump will come on right afterwards and say, hello, everyone. I just personally wrote a check to everybody to backstop the economy. They're going to need to talk about doing something positive. All right. So expect the jawboning marathon to continue again today. It's just how it is. It's not going to change. And as you know, 870,000 Americans filed for first-time unemployment benefits last week. Last week's jobless claims are 4 times the pre-COVID lockdown average. 4 times. 4 times the pre-COVID lockdown average. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 times. 400% increase. So that will help you put it into perspective. 400% increase. That's a lot of increase. That's a whole lot of ham. But that's where we are. That is where we are today, ladies and gentlemen. Another weird one here. Just after I got a question about this the other day, now it's in the news. It says that the Turkish situation just popped off. It says the USD TRY drops like a stone after Turkish central bank unexpectedly hikes rates by 200 basis points. Virtually nobody expected the first time Turkish rate hike in 2 years. Yeah, and yeah. This is something else, man. I never even heard of that currency like that. That's something that's never talked about. That's considered one of those exotics. But you know what? Someone in the live chat brought it up, had me pull it up, and I added it to the reports. Those of you who are part of the PulseWave trading family, if you go to your dashboard this morning and you pull up the forex, the full forex report, you'll see that USD TRY on there. It'll probably say TRY equal sign next to it. That's the USD TRY, in case you didn't know. So I did add that to the reports. You said USTTY, USD. Oh yeah, yep. Try. You're right. USTRY. That's been added to the report. So all you gotta do is go to your dashboard, go into the forex joint, and you'll see it there. But it's gonna say it won't. I don't think it's gonna say USD TRY. I think I may have typed that in there to make it easy to find. But if not, it'll say USD TRY, or it may just say TRY equal sign. But either way, that's it. So if you want to take a look at that and peep that, that is there for you this morning. All right, let's see what else we got going on here, man. Okay. Let's see. Wirecard's business almost entirely fraudulent. Auditors uncover a $1 billion secret loss. If IT auditors had been professional and serious, huge risks, weaknesses, and non-compliance issues would have emerged a long time ago. Well, word on the street is that if they did the same forensic accounting with Facebook, they might uncover some shenanigans as well. I'm just saying what the word on the street is, that it's a fraudulent company, that Facebook is shady. That's what people are saying. That's just what they're saying. I have no way of knowing if that's true or not. I'm not a forensic accountant. But if they go sniffing over there, I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's see here. What else we got going on cooking? Let's see. The Fed is preparing to deposit digital dollars directly to each American. They keep talking about that. They keep pushing that, and I don't know what that is about. I'm trying to wrap my brain around what the purpose of that is. It doesn't make sense. Okay, in the UK, the grocery stores were able to stave off panic buying amid a second lockdown. Daily COVID cases record is smashed. Highest daily case count since May the 1st, with 6,178 coronavirus cases on Wednesday alone. Wow. And here's another interesting one. How about 3 Iranian power plants will soon be mining Bitcoin? A power plant mining Bitcoin. Iran has turned to Bitcoin mining as a potential source of income amidst broader economic worries. You know, that should tell you everything you need to know if you are questioning the validity of Bitcoin. I got to tell you, man, I got to tell you, this is getting real interesting. In San Francisco, did you know that residents on alert as home invasion spike a whopping 42%? That is over the top. Over the top. Over the top. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, what did you expect? I always talked about this on this channel. When you take a man's ability to work away from him, and then on top of that, you tell him, oh, by the way, even if you do get a job, you're not allowed to go to work. And if you do go to work, we're going to arrest you, and or you may die in the process. Do you think many people are going to be like, okay, let me go to work? No, they're going to be shook. They're not going to want to go to work. And that's the whole idea behind this power grab. All right, let's see here. Let's just get into it. All right, so what is the big deal with the Fed? And we're gonna have to look under the hood today. We'll really take a look at what this means. All right, so with the Iranian power plant, so basically here's the lowdown. So you got 3 power plants in Iran, and they will soon offer their electricity outputs to interested Bitcoin miners. The move comes after a July ruling enabled power plants to legally mine Bitcoin. Iran has turned to Bitcoin mining as a potential source of income amidst broader economic worries. 3 major power plants in Iran will soon offer this exclusively for Bitcoin mining. The country's thermal power plant holding company announced on Monday, as per a report on local news outlet Tehran Times. Iranian power plants receive benefits and subsidies from the government on their fuel supplies, which are in turn used to produce power. And while they were earlier barred from mining cryptocurrencies, a new ruling in July allowed power plants to engage in the business, albeit after gaining necessary government approval, licensing, and complying with the tariffs set for crypto mining. So they finally got permission from the government to engage in commerce. And then they tacked on the word licensing, which is just another way to say you got to pay for protection. All right, it's a tax. License is just another fancy word for a tax. All right, you got to pay this tax. If you're going to operate in the space, you need our permission and you have to pay us a tax. And then they have tariffs that they put on it as well. In other words, they're saying, look, we, the government, want a piece of the action. So this is how we're going to do it. And you don't get a vote. You don't get to say, well, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to business with you. No, you can't have none of my business. I don't need no partners. What are you doing for me? You ain't offering me nothing. You ain't protecting me. How are you protecting me? What are you offering me? Nothing. They're just saying, nope, you're just going to share the money with us, share the wealth because we're the government and we say so. And if you don't, we'll shoot you in the head. So that's the way that works, ladies and gentlemen. That is why the governments of the world are shady, and it's a shame. It is an absolute shame. But this is where we are, and this is what the people say they want it. All right, so let's see what else we got going on up in here. Let me see what else we got. It's always something brewing. It's always something brewing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's deal with this thing here, and then we'll call it a day. I think we need to investigate some things. Okay. All right, so here we got, let's see, this is coming from the Burning Platform. All right, so a reader recently wrote a long letter on how he feels about all this pandemic stuff. I thought it would be good to share it as there is not that much in stuff going on right now in social media without being heavily censored. All right, so they know it's not deadly. All right, coronavirus is not deadly. It's no longer spreading, and lockdown is killing off the few small businesses which remain viable. These are facts. Yet, Boris now insists upon banning the assembly of more than 6 people. He has recalled some petty bureaucrats to act as street enforcers and requested people become snitches who report on their neighbors for any breaches of these guidelines. This automatically means we must now all fear our neighbors, fear strangers who take our car number. How better to destroy the mutual trust upon which society is built? Just think if we were to refuse to bend the knee. In Australia and Spain, the police have been caught using excessive force against those not wearing masks. Intimidating, isn't it? I'm thinking I may have to start using one. Yet the science is clear. Masks offer no protection. Once again, masks offer no protection. The science is clear. That's based on science, not based on politics, but according to science and not according to politics, masks do nothing. So we know these new restrictions are not being driven by the authorities' concern for our health. Of course not. And what is the difference between where we are now and making it normal for the police to come to your door and arrest you for a breach of their protocols? What is the difference between where we are now and an oppressive police state? And like I said before, why now for something that amounts to chicken noodle soup when HIV/AIDS came out, which is 1 billion times deadlier than the coronavirus? We didn't lock down. We didn't social distance. We didn't wear masks. We didn't lock down. We didn't close schools and businesses. We didn't stop all commerce. We didn't do that. We didn't do that for the most deadliest virus the world has ever known, aside from the Black Death in the 1300s. HIV/AIDS scared the bubbles out of people. People were afraid to leave the house. People were afraid to use restrooms in public spaces. People were afraid to date. They were afraid to do anything. In the beginning, when we didn't know anything, oh, are you kidding me? If you were even suspected of being sick, you were treated like a leper. People would see you coming in and cross the street. They don't want to be nowhere near you. They don't want to touch you. They don't want to kiss you. They don't want to hug you. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? And that shook people to death. Do you remember the giant quilt in Washington, D.C.? Do y'all remember the giant quilt? Anybody doing no giant quilts today? You don't see no quilt? And when that thing hit, it affected everybody. Men, women, and children, all nationalities, rich, poor, didn't matter if you were in the government, a president, a king, a queen, didn't matter what you were, who you were, or how much money you had or didn't have. You could have been a hobo, in the alley, it didn't matter, or you could have been a king in a castle. It was lighting people up. We lost literally tens of millions of people. Tens of millions of people. The coronavirus has killed tens of thousands of people, maybe, worldwide, maybe. If you compare the death rate between coronavirus and HIV/AIDS, it's not even in the same universe, galaxy, or solar system. If you ask the average person, would you rather get coronavirus or would you rather get HIV/AIDS? I think the answer would be simple. You would rather have coronavirus because at least it has a 99% recovery rate. Yeah. Yeah. And then let's look at what happens to the human body with coronavirus versus HIV/AIDS. Now, remember when the HIV/AIDS first came out, there was no treatment, no cure, no nothing. You was just out of here. You was gone. All right. That was a terminal illness. There was no hope for you. You was out of here. They didn't know nothing about it. It was brand new. Bam. Taking people out. That's another difference. I'm sure you can name multiple people that you know or have known, whether they be friends or families, that have died from the HIV/AIDS virus. Not many people can say, I know someone who died from coronavirus. How many people can name a family member under the age of 50 that died from coronavirus? Some can raise their hand, but how many people can raise their hand and say you have a family member that died from HIV/AIDS? Everyone's hand will go up. We could spend hours on this live feed naming names of people that you know personally, friends and or family, colleagues, whatever, that died from the HIV virus. We would be on here all day and all night for a week straight, maybe a month. You know, however long it takes to name hundreds of millions of people. And remember, this thing has been killing people since the 1980s, and we're in 2020. This is 2020. So it has had many a decade to take people out. Yeah, they got the cocktails and stuff now to help prolong life, but it is not a cure. And once you go from HIV to full-blown AIDS, it is what it is. And what your body goes through is far more heinous than that. Far more. I have seen what it can do to people, and it is absolutely horrific. And we still are dealing with it. It's still deadly. It hasn't been stamped out. It hasn't disappeared. It hasn't been cured. Even though billions and trillions of dollars have been raised, it still will never, no disease like that will ever be cured. No type of cancer like that will ever be cured, because there's way more money in the treatment versus the healing. All right? I'm just saying. So when you break it all down like that, you have to realize that human beings are just pretty much evil. They're using the coronavirus because they're ready to roll out their new world order. When the HIV virus hit, they weren't ready back then, but they're ready now. That's why they're using something that's not even serious. They're making it up as they go along. They're saying that the coronavirus is the worst virus known to man. It's worse than HIV, AIDS, and the Black Death rolled together. If you listen to Dr. Fauci and them on TV, he would lead you to believe that he'd rather get the Black Death, or he'd rather get HIV, AIDS than get coronavirus, because coronavirus is just so supernatural and paranormal. It's self-aware. All right. It wears super Timbs in the winter. All right. And a wife beater in the summer. All right. Sometimes it sports an afro. Sometimes it sports a bald head. Sometimes it will let its beard grow out. Sometimes it'll shave. And it works out in the gym 7 days a week. All right. So the coronavirus is stocky, and he's ripped and cut up, and he will go upside your head for any reason. You can't sense him because he can be tricky and clever. You can take a test on someone and you'll get a false positive. So you may have to take the test 3, 4, 5 times because he's tricky like that. The coronavirus can think. It can morph. It can do whatever it wants. It can be airborne. It can be surface-borne, or none of the above. If you owe it money, it will come and see you. It will send you a letter. It will send you an email. It can type. It has a computer. It has an online account. It has a social media account. And it always sends out threats and bullies people and trolls people on the internet. It says, yo, you owe me money. Don't let me catch you in the street. I'm going to make you so sick, you're going to wish you never been born. So the coronavirus makes threats. Coronavirus is a jerk. And there's nothing they can do about him because he's a bully and a jerk, and they can't stop him. He's a bad, bad man. That's what they would lead you to believe. That's what they would lead you to believe. But this is all circus and theater, because what they're doing is it's a power grab. They're using it as an excuse for a power grab. They want to take power from you, not just the American people, but the citizenry worldwide. That's what they want. They're using it to take power. Like I said, they weren't ready when HIV/AIDS came out, but they're ready now. For a virus that is nowhere near as deadly as HIV/AIDS. Again, ask the average man on the street, would you rather get coronavirus or would you rather get AIDS? They will tell you, I'd rather have the coronavirus 10 times out of 10. And that means it could be an old person, senior citizen, 70, 80 years old. It could be with a man with a heart condition, a brain aneurysm, whatever. Any sane thinking individual knows that coronavirus is not even in the same category as HIV/AIDS, and they'd rather get the coronavirus because you have a 99% recovery rate. There is no 99% recovery rate with HIV/AIDS, but yet we treat coronavirus as if it's more deadly than HIV/AIDS. Really? Really? And the people are just standing and taking it. You think that all these rallies and protests and riots and looting is for Black people? Think again. It has nothing to do with Black lives. You know you've seen the footage even though you've tried to ignore it. You've seen the live footage of them destroying Black-owned businesses. You screaming Black Lives Matter, but you're burning down Black people's business. You're burning their businesses down to the ground. This is about Black people and what police are doing to Black people. But what about what Black Lives Matter is doing to Black people? This is a terrorist organization that is using Black people as its backdrop to commit acts of terror in the United States. And they are burning down Black people's businesses. And Black people have been killed. Innocent Black people have been killed also who have gotten in their way. Again, this is an organization of terrorism. Now, you guys went out and hunted Osama bin Laden, who did less. But Black Lives Matter, who is tearing up the country, killing people, ruining lives by putting Black people out of business and costing the country billions in damages and lost wages, because when you shut down a mom and pop business, you're not just destroying the owner's livelihood, but you're destroying the working people who you claim to be fighting for. What kind of ridiculousness is this? You let George Soros fund all this activity. Now, when you thought Osama bin Laden was funding terrorism, you tore their country up. You bombed it to smithereens. But yet you let George Soros act like an Osama bin Laden and fund all this terrorism. And now what are you doing about it? You're taking a knee. What about the picture of all the senators and Congress people taking a knee, bowing to terrorism? The only reason why this is being allowed to happen is because it's an election year and the Democrats want to take power. If this wasn't an election year, do you really think these riots and these killings will be allowed to go on? The military would have already been in all 50 states with all types of warfare apparatus, and they would be blowing people away and locking people up. Everyone who is associated with it would have been hunted down and put in Guantanamo Bay. But I want you guys to hear me and hear me good. You think these Democrats care for you. You think they love you. You think they're fighting for your rights. If you didn't hear me before, you need to hear me now. Because if they win the White House in November, right? You need to understand. You need to understand something good. You need to hear me and hear me good. You are nothing more to them but useful idiots. Once they seize power and get into office, they're going to round every last one of you up and throw you into Guantanamo Bay for acts of sedition. Sedition is when you're trying to take over the government, overthrow the government. That is what you're trying to do. You don't think running campaigns such as defund the police is overthrowing the government? Yes, you are. All of you are going to be arrested and tried for treason and sedition and terrorism, which means you useful idiots have automatically placed yourself under the National Defense Authorization Act and the War Times Act. So you have no rights now. You will have no rights, no access to an attorney. They're going to come and they're going to round all of you up in the middle of the night. And if they can't find you, they will round up your mother, your grandmother, your baby mama. Yes, they will. You don't understand who and what you're dealing with. They're going to round you all up. And you're going to Guantanamo Bay and other black sites and FEMA camps spread all over the planet. You think it's funny. You think this is not going to happen. I'm telling you, once they seize power, they're going to say, thank you very much. This wouldn't have been possible without you guys helping us, but now you're under arrest. And they may not even publicize it. They're probably just, black that out of the media. No media will be covering it. And they're just going to start rounding y'all up in the middle of the night. And you know what they'll probably do too? As because people got camera phones and stuff. Now people be, taking pictures, recording video. And because they control the media, all they'll do is if they don't just outright ignore you, what they'll do is they'll call you fake news and say that you guys are doing this for attention and to ignore you. Yeah. You guys have no idea whom you're dealing with. And it's too late for you. They already know you. You guys who took money from George Soros, watch. They're going to arrest everybody, including the head of Black Lives Matter and all the Antifa people. You guys are out of here. You have no idea the plans they have for you. You're not part of their system. You're not part of their government. They're just using you. And once they're done with you, you're out of here. I feel sorry for all of you because you've been duped. You don't listen. You didn't listen when we were trying to tell you things. Because you were so brainwashed in elementary school and high school, and yes, even at university level, you've been so completely and utterly brainwashed, you don't hear nothing. You can't hear a thing. But you're going to hear this, though. You're going to hear this, though. They coming to get you. They're coming to get you. You think they're going to let all this go unchecked? You think they're going to let y'all continue to riot and tear up the streets after they take power? I think not. Once they take power, they're coming to get you. They're coming to get you. They got plans for all of you, and it's not good. So don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't tell you. All right? You can't say it because I did. So it's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So with that being said, man, I mean, you better get it together. Because the only difference between now and full-on state oppression is zero. You're already here. You just don't realize it. See, they needed an event that will change the mood of the people, or even a series of events that will make you afraid of whatever enemy they put before you. And you've done it. You've done all the heavy lifting for them. All they have to do now is just roll out the apparatus. So thank you very much. That's how it rolls. That's how it goes, people. All right, so you know what it is, man. Y'all know how I roll. PulseWaveTrading.com. You need to come over here and learn to break bread with us. Learn how to move in this new environment that we find ourselves in. And yes, it is a new environment. It is a new environment. We haven't really been here before. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this. This is something different. This is something way different. And we're going to have to we're going to deal with it. We're going to have to reconcile all of this at some point. So I just want to give y'all the heads up, man. It's not looking good for you. All right, well, I'm out of here, man. You know what it is. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. What that simply means is take whatever profit you can extract from the financial markets without giving it back in the form of losses. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.